the treasure is that this degree is about abundance. Once we overcome those things, we have the garden that is full of all the vegetables and the herbs and the flowers that are exactly what we need to thrive on. Hello, welcome back. We are continuing making our way through astrology, 2 degrees at a time. Today we're on Virgo, Pisces 28. Thanks for being here. If you want a little bit of an introduction, there are 2 videos in the description that could be helpful. One is on crystal wisdom, what do I mean when I talk about the crystals, and the other is the playlist for this entire series of Sabian degrees. It has a video at the very beginning that gives an introduction into what this is all about. Without further ado, thanks for being here. Let's get into Virgo. Okay, a few different ways to say this first one. A bald-headed man in uniform has seized power. Another way to say it. A bald-headed man has seized power. And one more. Moonlight reflecting off the shiny head of an old man. A city that can hide in and be called forth from a magical gem. A baby experiments with different sounds its mouth can make. Autumn leaves pressed in a book. The stone here is black spinel. It's a protective stone, repels negativity, provides grounding while evoking inspiration and empowerment without overwhelming others. Imbues calmness, helps us let go of resentments to reestablish relationships and dispel sadness. It gives us stress relief, helps in treating addictions. It calms the mind and emotions. So this is somebody who has an ability to enjoy sounds, making sounds, speaking, public speaking. At an innocent level, this is somebody who just enjoys talking, enjoys conversing. On one hand, this is somebody who understands that our world operates with words and stories, and they love to play with that. They love to see and experiment. What happens when I do this? What happens when I do that? And a lot of it is coming through sounds, like using an instrument that can make something operate. You know, things like that come to mind. Another thing here is somebody who wants to seize power, sees that something has to be done about a situation and takes control. This degree happens to be strong in my chart, very strong. It's one of my personal planets. And I know this because I track them. I'm going to pay attention to see what happens today. You know, how do things flow, because I am aware of it. If you would like to be aware of your personal planets and how they interact with astrology day by day, check out this journal. It could be helpful to you. There's a deep need on this degree to have cathartic change, to clear something out and reformulate. And if we're not careful on this degree, power can be taken from us by somebody that has the willpower to step in and make a change. So you want to be strong on this degree. You want to know what is important and know that this kind of energy is going on, so that you don't get caught up in something that may or may not be right for you. So understanding that you need to take the power for yourself, because it's a degree of dominance. There can be power struggles going on here, and it can be through conversations, the baby making the sounds. It's a simple degree, like a simplicity about it, knowing this is what I need, this is what I don't need. Things that I have in my life, they're useful until they're not, and when they're not, we get rid of them. We celebrate them as long as we have them, but when they're done being useful, out they go. Simplicity in that regard is definitely going on here. Somebody who loves to clear things away. It can be physical things in the home. It can also be someone who's a healer that knows how to clear things out of their body, of other people's bodies, of their aura. So a cleansing degree, definitely a cleansing. Understanding that things live and things die. A leaf in the autumn pressed in a book is enjoying the life that someone has lived and appreciating it for what it is, but it's dead and we move on. Existence is not static, it's in constant motion. Therefore, we understand that there are cycles, and in cycles death occurs. Death is one of those things, and we need to clear things out when something no longer serves. There's an innocent curiosity going on here, and a curiosity in the way life operates to the point where it brings others into the search for the answer. So somebody who's really curious is going on here. An ability to become whatever it is that we're curious about. The city that can hide in and be called forth. So it's an ability to blend into whatever it is that we want to take a look at and become it, to the point that we are part of the fabric of it and understand it at a cellular level is going on here. That curiosity of a baby that can be taken to that degree is going on here. You could be someone that others come to when they cannot make a decision and they want to hear your take on it. So an ability to alter structures, to come in and make wide sweeping changes in our own life and in the lives of others. So like I said, you may be someone that others come to when they need to talk something out. So a counselor of sorts, I don't know if it's in the strictest sense, it's someone who's like in desperate need of change comes to you, and all of a sudden, boom, okay, fine, you got it. And it may be wild, like shake you to your knees, and life-changing that happens here. Radically and relentlessly getting rid of obsolete patterns is available on this degree. Let's take a look at Pisces. A fertile garden under the full moon reveals a variety of full-grown vegetables. A shy poet hiding. Dawn's first gleams on a golden dome. A horde of monkeys chattering. Statues and fountains at night in a summer garden. The stone here is Rainbow Moonstone. It brings balance, harmony, hope, while enhancing creativity, compassion, endurance, and inner confidence. It helps strengthen intuition and psychic perceptions, especially visions of things not immediately obvious. It promotes healthy optimism, emanating vitality and joy. This is a degree of somebody who is very sensitive. So the fact that we're dealing with Virgo on the other end of this axis, I think it's really important that you listen to Virgo if you haven't already. Because if we're not careful on this degree, you can be steamrolled by life, steamrolled by maybe your intimate partner or family members. You gotta know your mind. You gotta have the ability to have space to know your mind. So there's a couple things going on here. Number one, there's the absolute necessity of shutting down the chatter on the world stage. That can be in the family, in your partnerships, at work, what's going on in social media. So a necessity to have quiet time in your own way. You could be someone who likes to write your thoughts down, the shy poet in hiding. You could actually be a writer who writes under a pseudonym because they don't want anybody to know that they actually wrote it. So a need to have quiet time any way that you possibly can. And it could be that you come up in a world where there's shenanigans all the time. I personally grew up in a household where my mother could suck the energy out of any room. Constantly had something to say about something, and she was going to make sure everybody heard it. So it could be that kind of a situation that you're overcoming, or that you had to work through when you were a child, therefore you've become adept at it, or had the need that you just absolutely must have quiet time. The other thing that we have to get beyond, once we get beyond the chatter of the outer, is to get beyond the chatter of our mind. So a need to learn how to quiet the constant thinking that could be going on, because the mind operates at several levels. Now, if you have a creative personality, you're always thinking, possibly, and the trick is to shut that down sometimes. Because if we're constantly thinking and pushing and pushing and pushing in an internal way, even though we might be quiet about it, we're hindering the ability for our soul, our heart, spiritual guides to come in and give us the answers that we need. So we have to shut it down. So shutting down the outer world and shutting down our own monkey mind, where we're constantly chattering and trying to figure things out or mulling over things that are a problem, whatever they might be, to the point where we can think and we can actually get to what needs to come up to the surface and out and be expressed. And the garden kind of speaks to that. In the quiet of the night, we see the statues in the moonlight. So it's a real connection to moon and emotions and trusting our internal instincts to guide us on this entire axis. At the highest level, we know how to step back from stress. If we know that we really just can't operate with a bunch of people in a room, then we create an ability to do our work, whatever that might be, in a quiet place. Or we have developed the focus that no matter where we are, we can have the quiet be the eye in the storm, where we always have a peacefulness within us, no matter what is going on in the outer world. That's the key to develop in order to have peace on this degree. So being attuned to what we need, knowing that we operate in a different way and that we know our own mind, we know what we need to feel calm. The stones can be helpful. They both talk about calming, deflecting negativity. The spinel talks about being able to speak our mind, but not in a way that we overwhelm others. So there's a real delicate balance on this particular degree that needs to be meditated on, maybe write about it, and find a way to express ourselves, because there's deep beauty and grace on this degree, but it can be completely steamrolled by exterior chatter or interior chatter. The treasure is that this degree is about abundance. Once we overcome those things, we have the garden that is full of all the vegetables and the herbs and the flowers that are exactly what we need to thrive on. So that's the gold that is available on this degree, but we have to know that it's there, and we have to know our mind and have a practice where we either can operate in chaos or we step away, maybe a little of both, each day, center and ground. And it might be where we do that once an hour. You might not be a smoker, okay, but you go out and have a smoke break, a quiet time break, where you center yourself and you always are calm. You know your mind, and then you can hear spirit. You can hear your soul. You can hear your heart. So that's what I have for you today. Thanks so much, you guys, for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Leave a comment if this degree is strong for you and you have some insight for us. Did you have a dream about these and want to tell us about it? Give me a like if you're enjoying these, subscribe for more, and take care till next time.